More than 3/4 of Oregon is in some stage of drought. Other law enforcement agencies say they're watching what's going on the Greenway closely and are ready to step in. Our top story this morning, OSHA is changing the rules for businesses regarding mask mandate. Annette, talk to me about how you're feeling this morning, being able to welcome customers back in. Melted from the back here, but this is what's a little bit crazy. There's a lot of smoke in the air. Look at this ash. If we zoom in here, look at all that on my finger. You can actually see southbound, northbound lanes of the 5 have finally opened up this morning. Off to my left, you can see there's mountains and trees, but you can just barely see them. Medford hospitals are going the extra mile to make sure their employees who lost everything in the Alameda fire are taken care of.
I got a little bit.
I'm just proud that some of it hit your mouth.
How cool is this? Jacksonville, yes, our Jacksonville, getting a lot of attention today. One by one, U.S. Postal Service employees roll out like clockwork, getting ready for another day during a season unlike any other.
It far supersedes any other year for package parcel delivery.
This is Ron Fair. You could say he knows a thing or two about delivery driving.
I've been doing this for 7 years.
He knows where to put his packages.
My method is I'm putting them in my route delivery order.
And he knows the Rogue Valley like the back of his hand.
If I was brand new on the route, it would be really hard.
But what he's never experienced before
This is my second load.
is the volume of packages he's delivering.
Yesterday I scanned 466.
And what is that compared to normal for you?
Triple.
And this goes for the rest of his coworkers.
We've seen more than 100% increase in our package volumes this year.
In past holiday seasons, carriers typically deliver between 70 to 100 packages a day. But this year,
Anywhere from 300 to 600 packages per route.
the increase stretching drivers well beyond their normal shifts.
We're now doing 10, 12, 14 hours.
Despite early mornings and the long nights, Ron says it's all worth it.
We're proud to do it. This is what we do. We are the last mile of delivery.
So they pack up their cars, jump in the driver's seat, and one by one, they hit the road, making sure everyone gets their packages in time for Christmas. In Medford, Blakely Mchugh, NBC5 News.
October 1, people were already, it was full. 12 tenants were moving in October 1.
Gil Livney is the owner of this plot of land.
This used to be the community building.
His Magnolia Fine Homes apartment complex used to fill the area, but now it's all gone. Instead, it's filled with construction workers trying to rebuild what was once a place dozens called home.
To see something that you put a lot of time and love, and this is also, I'm not just the builder here, I'm the owner. I really put a lot of things into those units, and it's burned down.
Livney and his crew had been working on the project for nearly a year and a half.
It was just completed July 15 of this year.
But just weeks after tenants moved in, the Alameda fire hit.
Yeah, it's quite devastating.
The morning after the fire, he asked for approval to rebuild and got it. Then, roughly 10 days later, he got to work. Livney says there are some challenges that come with rebuilding.
It's more delicate, you know, to cut and fit buildings where they used to be before without destroying what you already have.
And his employees feel the same.
We're being tested to rebuild it. Do it once, then do it again, I guess.
But despite the obstacles, they're happy to bring a glimmer of hope to the small town.
I want to make sure that talent is coming back as soon as possible.
In Talent, Blakely Mchugh, NBC5 News.
Someday I'll frame it or...
Ian Davis was just 17 years old when he built what was then called a hand in the future.
In 1992, South Medford High School, I designed and developed a fully ambulatory robotic arm using myoelectronics.
At the time, it was just for a school project. He never thought what he created in his teen years would be something he needed in his adult years.
You know, you don't realize how much you take your hands for granted, and then when you don't have that as a thing, it really affects your attitude.
In October of 2017, Davis was given less than a year to live when he was diagnosed with multiple myeloma.
No, it's a huge sack of suck.
It's a cancer that lives within the bones, weakening the immune system and making it easier for bones to break.
Slow, that's fast. In last November, I had an accident at my shop. where I broke a couple bones in my hand, and because I have multiple myeloma, I'm severely compromised in my immune system. So it went from, getting pins to you're not healing, to bone infection, blood infection, septicemia, you're going to die.
In order to save his life, doctors had to amputate 4 fingers on his dominant hand. As an engineer, the idea of not using his hand wasn't something he could grasp.
I mean, the cancer was a career ender, and this just really put the icing on the cake. Career ender. They scrape it off.
Being told he couldn't do what he loved any longer wasn't an option.
This is the part that I designed this morning.
So he got to work.
In January, when I was still in the hospital, I started designing a prosthetic hand. It's kind of my day job. It's what I use to, maintain my sanity.
He lost his fingers in January. In March, he had his first prototype made.
The first time that I was able to, pick stuff up again, it's magical.
Since then, he's continued to redesign and recreate each hand to make them better than before.
And that is my collection of failed attempts.
Failed attempts that are turning into successes, one hand at a time.
Hand of the past with the hand of the future.
Right, there you go.